I haven't personally used posed that much with those Series 6 figures, but to me, when I did like move them around out of the box, they weren't loose. So maybe it was just a problem with yours.
Just give it time.
Just give it time.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Talking Feds. This is our fifth one, and we got so many stuff where we want to talk to you today, and we got some questions to be answered. But first off, let me ask my guests here, or my brothers from other mothers, Trey, Lucas, Nathan, how are y'all doing today? What are you guys up to?
Feeling good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty freaking fantastic, Brad.
Awesome.
Same here.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So today we kind of have some reactionary responses and some opinions on what's been going on in the wrestling planet as of late. AEW just had the show of a lifetime for their sakes, and WWE should probably be shaking in their freaking boots. At least that's in my opinion. You know, CM Punk's back. He just had a match. Adam Cole is all elite, baby. And Daniel Bryan, no longer Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson is his name now, and he's back to being the American Dragon. And this is all in AEW. And what do WWE have? They got Roman. You know, I mean, like, for me, I'd usually be the guy to like kind of crap all over AEW whenever they mess something up. And whenever WWE messes up, oh yeah, I'll definitely crap on them.
Well, one thing though, like you say they have Roman, but they have Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. But like, if Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole were in WWE, would we really be speaking this highly of them? Like, I think it's just a little bit of hype that they're in AEW.
Yeah,
well, I think Adam Cole's a top 5 wrestler in the world, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but he's tiny, dude. Like, I'm bigger than the guy. Like, he's not.
I mean, I'm taller than him too, but as far as like
I'm muscle too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like he needs to hit the gym, man. But like he's a good wrestler and talker.
Yeah.
But like not believable. Like Brock Lesnar would spit that guy out for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think it's more about like he just fits the AEW realm so well. I think that's why everybody's so excited.
Yeah.
And
but like, is it enough to take down WWE? That's the thing.
No, absolutely not.
But there's a point I'll make later that relates to this.
Well, to me, like Adam Cole, like by himself, of course not. But it's the fact that CM Punk, Adam Cole, and Daniel Bryan are all in AEW at the same time. And the possibilities could be endless of what they can do with all of them, especially with Adam Cole. Mostly, I'm kind of more interested in the Adam Cole aspect of things, if I'm really being like 100% honest with you guys. Because, you know, if you remember your history, your Bullet Club history, Adam Cole was brutalized by the Young Bucks and replaced with Marty Scurll and kicked out of the Bullet Club by Kenny Omega. And I know it seems like they threw that storyline out of the water or out the window, whatever innuendo you want to choose. But I feel like something's going to be brewing here with Adam Cole and the Elite and stuff. So let's not count our chickens just yet on that storyline is what I'm trying to say. That kind of intrigues me a lot, but you know,
I feel like part of their big. I'm sorry, you can go ahead if you would like.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that I think what makes AEW so special and what you're talking about is that the people who have invested their time for years, like just years upon years, it's kind of like the people that watch our feds from the very beginning and they get that long-term like gratification and everything like that. I think that's what everybody, like the diehards for AEW, really love is like they pay it off. You know, the people that watch Being the Elite and the people that have invested in these guys from the beginning and have really rode the train this long. I think that's what makes everything, kicks it up another notch for those people. And I don't know if they'll be able to compete with WWE as far as like mainstream goes, but as far as that core audience, they genuinely are giving them what they want and what they want to see. And I think that's why people love AEW so much.
But I feel like AEW should really be careful about like giving the people what they want, because a lot of the time what people want is kind of bullshit.
Well,
like,
Yeah.
I think also though that like I don't know, God, my freaking mind just went blank on what you just said. But
oh boy.
I mean, giving the, I don't know, it's kind of like AEW fans. They don't give a shit what you put in front of them. They pretty much pop.
Yeah, they'll pop
So,
for anything.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's
Like,
the problem to me too. Honestly, I
it's
don't
like
know what they're putting
they're
in the
the
air.
same as NXT fans.
Mhm.
NXT fans would cheer for anybody.
Like
Tyler Breeze got cheered in NXT, and I liked him in NXT. But then it comes to the main roster, and like the mainstream audience don't care about it.
And NXT's audience and the main roster audience are two completely different entities.
Well, it's because the NXT audience is pro wrestling fans that love pro wrestling and want to,
also
That's the AEW fan base too.
And
Exactly,
also,
yeah.
Now here's the another thing we got to take into account. NXT in its heyday, 2018, 2019, all the 2017 even, when I considered it to be the best wrestling program on the planet. And a part of the reason why I think that the fans were so into everything that NXT was doing is because NXT, for the most part, was filmed and broadcasted in one place every week up until the takeovers where they would go, and tour. So you would have your regulars who were there since day one and following the storylines week in and week out, and they're just really invested with these things. AEW, on the other hand, they travel now or they've been traveling again, but still they have that energy from the crowd, and they literally would pop to freaking Marco Stunt beating Kenny Omega. I'm pretty sure they would. And I was thinking in my mind during the casino battle royal with the women, I was thinking in my mind, what if freaking Lana comes out and she gets like the biggest pop ever for whatever reason?
WrestleMania this year, Daniel Bryan got booed, and now like he's the biggest deal ever.
Mhm.
It's so interesting to see like how the narrative kind of switches here just because he's in AEW.
Well, I think it's just because they know he won't have a filter. He won't be handcuffed. Like, I think that's part of it too.
I don't think he was
but
that
it's just, I
handcuffed
think it's a
in
little
his
bit
last
more
run.
of the hype.
I feel like
AEW.
it's just novelty. It's like, oh, this is new, this is exciting, and in 3 weeks, like, it will be normal.
Yeah,
that's
it's
gonna be
like
the true
CM
test.
it's a lot like when CM Punk came back. CM Punk came back, broke the internet, right? Next week, we're back to the regular ratings. We're back to the regular viewership.
Yeah.
It didn't last that long. And
Well, that's another point, is that like AEW, they can like Wednesday doesn't need to be like every other Dynamite. Now that you brought in Adam Cole, you brought in Daniel Bryan, you got CM Punk, you have all these pieces. This is the time where like you can't be putting out these nobodies on the show. You need to kick that shit up. Like writing
like
from here on
Garcia,
out,
whover the
it
hell
has
that
to be
is.
next level.
Yeah, what the hell is that, man?
Daniel
Who's
Garcia.
this jabroni on our TV? Like, what the hell is this? You put him in the main event with Moxley on the CM Punk episode where he returns. Like, you really think this guy's gonna like move the needle and get people interested?
Such a nothing main event for a monumental moment in wrestling history.
Bro. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, CM Punk should have just came out at the end. If I was really being honest with you guys,
he should have ended the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like, people would have been chanting for him all throughout the show and not paying attention to the matches.
At that point,
they should have just had better matches.
For it. That's all the better for it, honestly. Like even if like the matches were terrible, the fans are still there for CM Punk. They won't care, And for the first time in 7 years, they chant CM Punk and he's there.
That's a good, you know how you were talking about AEW fans, like, we mentioned AEW fans will cheer anything, but also like, if you look at WWE fans, for the most part, unless you have those, those diehard pro wrestling fans in the crowd, the WWE stands don't think that WWE does anything wrong either, which is really crazy because, like, they'll literally put out garbage and they lap it up every single week. I mean, it's proven.
Some people,
like, they'll literally book Elias versus Jackson Riker 6 weeks in a row, and somebody can come out and say, what's like, I'm sick of seeing this damn match, and they'll be like, well, just let it play out, man.
Let it marinate. That's a meme going on with me and my group of friends that we talk to. Just let it marinate, man. Just let the story marinate. They said the same thing when Cross lost to freaking Jeff Hardy. I was so pissed off at that. And then they were just talking about, bro, let it marinate, bro. They're gonna do something with Cross.
They put a damn helmet on him.
Yeah, they put a BDSM.
Let me tell you what the issue is with AEW and WWE. What's going to be a big problem? AEW is now attracting guys like Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole to choose AEW over WWE, over all the money that WWE could offer them. Now, who else is going to want to jump over now? Because they see all these other guys, and now they probably want to be a part of it. Like, you're going to lose guys like AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Cesaro. Like, you could totally see all these people jumping. Sasha Banks wanted to leave like 2 years ago.
I can definitely
like
see
that
Keith
could be
Lee
really
that.
bad for WWE.
I can definitely see Cesaro doing that. Keith Lee, Cross.
Kevin Owens is like
Kevin Owens would be huge.
He's got a first class ticket to AEW right now, man. He hasn't had a world title in like 5 years.
I think it'd fit in really great there.
And
he'd be perfect. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world to me too. I know he's not an ideal. He's not Roman Reigns, obviously. Like we know this, but as far as true pro wrestling talent, he's one of the best.
And what if Sami Zayn goes in there and he goes back to being El Generico?
That's one thing I've thought about too.
Yeah, he goes.
I think Sami's doing good in WWE.
I feel like
I don't think he needs.
He's got an interesting character, and he's on SmackDown, the A show.
Like he's got a certain position, he probably won't like get any higher, but I think he's doing great. Like I don't think he'd even be world champion in AEW.
No, and that's another good point with all this. Like, dude, you have legitimately the best roster, I would say, overall in all.
I still think WWE probably has the best. They just don't utilize them the best.
No, I do not know about that.
I would give the edge to AEW slightly, but
slightly now.
I feel that I don't know what's going to happen when you have all these different. I know that people want to say, it's the best place. I'm so happy working here, and it's the best thing ever. I just hope that that's true, and it's not, with guys like CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Darby Allin, Cody, Chris Jericho. You have all these big names, and not all of them can hold up the AEW world title. Not all of them can have a big money feud every single week and every single month, So like, hopefully they can keep that in check, and like they can give everybody something interesting to do, and just putting on good matches on weekly television may be enough for some people, and hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, it's kind
of maybe WWE's overstuffing them. Like they're like, oh, we'll give them all this talent and see like what they do. Like they're not gonna be able to handle it.
Maybe Vince McMahon talked about that in that Zoom call that he was on. Remember, he was
like, oh, we'll give them more.
Yeah, we'll just give them some more then.
Yeah, because the thing is, AEW, I don't think they're really creating their own stars. WWE has like a factory where they just create their own stars from scratch, and they make anyone into a star. AEW is just taken from WWE or hoping an indie star proves their popularity.
I would say
basically
they have like maybe five that have just been homegrown. Like nobody knew who they were.
But the thing is, who's more likely to stumble upon the next John Cena, WWE or AEW? WWE's creating the people.
Yeah, because WWE is, they have more resources. They have, they're mainstream. They've been around forever. They're the They're the Coke of soda.
So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they got to put some pressure on themselves.
Yeah,
my only concern is like AEW fans are so diehard. They're so into everything and anything that happens. Like if freaking Kenny Omega fought a Leaf, they'd be cheering for the Leaf the whole time.
Yeah,
the Leaf is so over. But then I'm wondering, okay, Ruby Riott went there and won the Battle Royal. Everyone lost their freaking minds, right?
Yeah.
Where was this love when she was in WWE?
I've always loved Ruby Riott. To be fair, I thought they should have won the tag titles in Mania. I was pissed that they didn't. I thought that was a blown story. But they
gave it to WWE, Natalia and the what's her name, Tamina.
Yeah, like what the hell are we doing, Brad? Like that's terrible. I've always loved Ruby Riott. I think anybody will say that. But you're gonna have that. You're gonna have the fickle fans that It's the same thing with Bray Wyatt. WWE fans did that same ish where they chant Bray Wyatt, but you weren't cheering
And it
for
was so
shit
funny.
when he was,
it
the
was
Fiend.
so funny when Ronda Rousey called
Yeah.
them out on that. Ronda freaking
Mhm.
Rousey called, of all people, called them out on that.
And
you
it's
know
correct.
What? She was complete speaking facts.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to cheer for somebody, like just because they freaking got fired from WWE, like people were trying to tell me, bro, like they fired Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Those guys should have been freaking world champion. Are you stupid? Or like what?
And when you get on Twitter after like 17 people get released and people like, yeah, it sucks that people lose their job, but don't get on here and act like you were their number one fan when you literally didn't give an ish about them until they got released.
And also, I'm going to say, if Daniel Bryan's first promo is him shitting on WWE,
he won't.
No, he gave him props. He already did.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
He did it in an interview. Yeah, he's gonna be. Adam Cole did the same thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, that warms my heart. So, you have no idea how much
Even
that
CM
warms my
Punk's
heart.
barely saying anything.
No,
which is good.
No, he literally said, "Oh, you guys actually thought I'd go to the place that made me sick in the first place?"
Well, they really did make him sick though. Like he was like legitimately sick.
No, but he said that with like such disdain in his voice and
Did
everything.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, he said.
But to be fair, the medical team there did they were responsible for it. So
I get that, but what I'm saying is, this is the whole same song and dance we've been hearing from every other ex-WWE guy. You know.
Well, to be fair, they suck at running, at handling talent. To be fair, any shit on they get is pretty well deserved, I would say. Even though they do put these guys in great positions.
But what I'm saying
here's a question.
It's getting old. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do you think, because WWE, ever since Daniel Bryan and CM Punk started focusing on indie wrestlers and stuff, do you think that's actually caused the downfall of popularity? The storylines, yes, but now they've started focusing more on indie wrestlers instead of building the big, Roman Reigns and all that. I think that's kind of contributed to the downfall. What do you guys think?
Wait. You're talking about AEW?
No, in WWE, they started focusing on smaller guys and stuff. And then NXT, all they're producing is guys like Kyle O'Reilly. They're not really building the new stars that they need.
I think
those guys aren't drawing.
Well, yeah, because that's the difference in sports entertainment and professional wrestling. They shifted from
but they started listening to the fans, and that they shouldn't have done that and focused on indie wrestling because it's not going to sell as well. I think that led to the downfall.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some definite truth to that, I would say.
And that's why they're trying to fix it with NXT nowadays, because they're trying to switch it all up.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's true. And I know they're doing the homegrown talent thing. They're going to go out and get college football players and rejects.
Because now all the indie wrestlers that they have probably want to go to AEW now. Because they all like that kind of wrestling.
Wasn't Nia Jax a homegrown talent?
Yeah.
And look where that came.
She's probably a star. She's probably draws an audience a little bit. But she's not good in the ring. She's got a look to her.
But she's literal garbage. But
yeah,
that's just
obviously in the ring, yeah. But she's got a presence about her.
Dude, she's literally the Giant Gonzalez of today. Giant Gonzalez doesn't have nothing other than size and presence, and that's all Nia Jax has. Her ring skills garbage. Her promos garbage.
Which I don't get.
Garbage.
Why don't people get better is the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people get better, but some people literally just maybe they don't give a damn about their craft.
Nia
maybe they
Jax
don't care.
Just gets worse.
But people you know how there's memes and there's videos that literally go viral every week about this wrestler hurting this wrestler, and oh my God, look how she slammed her. Oh my God, look at her neck. This girl is a literal liability in the ring. What is this? I don't understand why you wouldn't take that and go get better.
And just send her to the performance center. Send her back to developmental. Say hey, nah, that's not how we're going to do things. You're going to go in there and hone your craft. But they just said, nah, we're going to have Charlotte and Nia Jax slap each other around and push each other's heads. And then boom, 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 pow. That's it. And then we're going to give Nia Jax a freaking title shot the very next week. And I'm like, why is this chick still employed? Why is she even in Raw at this point?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing she does that's good. I mean,
I think it's just the look that makes her valuable. Just the
And
So
look.
that's
that
the
she's
meme of
fat.
it.
That's the only thing.
That's
Pretty-
that's
Pretty much. Well, she's
That-
tall too. She's like 6 foot.
that's the meme of it all. That's the meme of like WWE only cares if you have, jacked up muscles, you're tall, and
But
you're
that's
big.
what the mainstream audience want to see. They don't want to see guys who they could beat up themselves. Like, come on now.
I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a professional wrestling fan than a sports entertainment fan. It's
Yeah, I
like-
feel like that's it because, like, of course, like WWE targets their stuff more to kids now, and apparently it's very successful business wise. But for a wrestling fan, it's not fun to watch.
But the fact of the matter is like, why am I still invested in people like the Undertaker? Like, he's a big, tall guy, and he has a presence about him, but he's not a professional wrestler per se. He's a great showman. He can put on fantastic matches with certain people, but when it comes to like technical shit and no selling and these back and forth and all that stuff we see today, Undertaker's not that kind of guy. He's more of a freaking character.
Well, there's an
Yeah,
added,
but
It
Undertaker, you
depends what
think
you
like
like.
he's actually fighting. He takes like this stuff seriously.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
a lot of
freaking Nia
WWE is
Jax.
like.
Bro,
Yeah.
did you see on AEW? I don't know what show it was, but I saw it on Twitter. There was like a move in the ring. He's got him in a headlock or something. A guy comes in and immediately, instead of punching the guy to save his tag team partner, even though it was like a rest hold, he jumps the ropes, comes in and puts like a toe lock on the guy. Like, why the hell would you not like punch him or something? You're not even legal. You're not even going to get the submission. And then they all come in and do these little rest holds on each other just for some spot. And like, I
Yeah,
just
I
can't
mean,
get
that's-
invested in AEW when they do stuff like that.
yeah, that's part of like the independent scene kind of wrestling deal where like, they have to get creative on the indies and, they have to play to the crowd a little bit and they got to get the people involved. That's why you see
Well,
like
how
crazy
about-
stuff.
How about fucking develop a character?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I
seriously.
agree with you, but I also have something to say about the character thing is like, I think we entered a point where I think people see guys like Adam Cole and guys like Kevin Owens and guys like CM Punk, and they look at them and they say, that's me if I was a professional wrestler. And I think that's where they
Yeah.
connect with an audience is because
I think there's
you can
too
relate
many
to
of
them.
those.
really says a lot.
Yeah, because you
about
can't
people.
relate
That is
to
right.
you can't relate to Roman Reigns, who's freaking
Yeah.
6'4", beautiful specimen of a man, beautiful tattoos. He looks like a god. And then you
Mhm.
have Brock Lesnar, and then you have Braun Strowman. Like, you can't relate to guys like that. They're just freaks that we love to see run into each other.
Yeah, but here's the
Yeah.
thing: is like you can relate to, you can't relate to those guys, just like how you can't relate to Superman. You can't fly.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
have. You're not invulnerable, but you still enjoy watching Superman because
Yes.
it's fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm still.
But
on
to
this
that point,
debate
it's like-
where-
To that point, it's like that's why people like Spider-Man, because like they can relate to him like a teenager. Everyone's been a teenager at some point, unless you're like a little kid. Like, you can relate
but
to that.
Yeah, and it's like Spider-Man's more relatable because he has more real
Mm.
world
Be-
problems. I can't speak.
Yeah.
And Superman is literally like a god living amongst men. So like Roman Reigns is Superman, and someone like, I don't know, Johnny Gargano, I guess, is Spider-Man. Like back
Yeah.
when he was in like the John Cena of NXT.
But there's too many people who are the same kind of relatable small guy type of thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Like there's just
saying,
way too
like,
many of them.
That's why
There
I'm
needs to be like
saying,
one or two, like Daniel Bryan, Johnny Gargano. That'd be like perfect. But
Yeah,
there's like 5 of the same guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's
like,
where you got to get creative with your character. That's where like it goes deeper than, oh, that's just a white short guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like you got to get deeper. Like Sami Zayn, what Sami Zayn's doing, his conspiracy thing, that's beautiful.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have, different guys and their different gimmicks and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but that's where it gets complicated too. That's like things you got to work on. That's like psychology. That's promo work. That's like a whole different level of stuff going on there. But yeah,
and
I
this
just
is-
don't understand how nobody's smartening up these guys in AEW, all these young guys. Like, I don't know how they look at what they're doing in the ring and they endorse it.
Well, because the fans eat it up every time.
Which guys are you specifically talking about?
Just like all the sloppy, botchy stuff that you see on AEW.
Because AEW fans, it doesn't matter to them. They'll cheer for literally anything.
That's
I mean,
the
they
problem.
could legit have like with the talent they have, they could have a great show every week, but then they got to put people like Brock Anderson, Daniel Garcia, or like QT Marshall and his goons. Like nobody wants to see that. I feel.
Why the hell is Brandon Cutler signed? Like, come on.
Yeah, because he's the best friend of the Young Bucks. Yeah,
and see, we talk about this. We talk about this on a like. I feel like we always mention how like AEW, like me and my brother, literally every week he comes to my house on Wednesdays. We watch Dynamite every single week. We watch it, and we just talk about every week. We probably say it, and we say, dude. Like, yeah, like they put on great TV matches. They have a stacked roster, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, like we always say, dude, this could be so much better if they would just write this show better. Or why are we having another 10-man tag team? Like, who are these guys? That's the thing. Why do I care about these guys?
I want to like AEW, but like they're not doing anything that different from WWE. It's not, it's just not like attracting me. It's not, nothing's making me want to watch. Even the new guys they're bringing in. Like, I don't know, there's just some disconnect.
Well, I think it's what makes AEW special is, to me at least, is I know they're not going to insult my intelligence. Outside of maybe bringing in morons sometimes, like, like the random guys that'll come in, you're like, who the hell is that? But they're not gonna give me 16 rematches week to week to week. Like I can expect something fresh on the show. I know they overdo, but they also have their own problems with their multi-man tag matches and things of that nature.
No,
I know they care about their product, so I think that's what it is. Like I know for a fact they care about pro wrestling and what they I don't know. It's like the special moments and stuff. Like it excites me.
I feel like what's gonna be hard for AEW is now like where there will not be like a new guy coming in every week. For them to be still that exciting, because now the excitement always has been, CM Punk is coming, Daniel Bryan is coming, Adam Cole is coming. What if there's like nobody left that's coming in? Yeah.
It's like AEW is literally just built like a pig fed. Honestly,
no, they really are. Like I even like said that. Like they literally have a gold mine in their hand, and that I just hope that they play their cards right and they know what the hell they're doing.
They just rely on dream matches most of the time, and they say, "Oh, that's it. That's the show. Booyah! That's why you're gonna watch, right?" And I was like, "Where's the story at? Where's the character?"
But it's not even that it's dream matches. Like it's like. I watched the Dynamite and the main event was like Malachi Black against Brock Anderson, and it was like really lame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like why would you put this in the main event? This was like a squash match. Like you could have put that earlier on the show, give Malachi Black a win, but why is that the main event?
One of the biggest things that baffled me about All Out is that they put Big Show versus fucking QT Marshall after CM Punk and before the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's the nonsense that WWE does as well, like their buffer match, which I hate. This is why I love New Japan, where the matches build up from least important to most important.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would book a wrestling card always.
Oh yeah, definitely how I would.
Yeah, people feel like you need a come down or something every single time. I don't think
I always thought that like that's stupid.
Like Big Show and QT Marshall. Like first of all, QT Marshall. He could he's the most boring epitome of a wrestler I've ever seen. So I just don't like if he's on the thing, I'm going to get a snack. Like I don't give a damn.
Who is QT Marshall other than the fact that he is an asshole? Can you tell me who he is without saying, "Oh, he's just a bad guy" and all that shit?
And just that's the problem with AEW is they have way too many guys that are like that I just do not give a single shit about.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, one of the things that really grinded my gears about All Out was how they did the MJF and Chris Jericho thing. Now, me as a guy who looks to the future now, I'm like, okay, you want to make MJF the guy. You want to make him that fucking guy to hate. He's going to be the guy who runs the show. He's going to be the evil face of AEW, more than Kenny, more than the Bucks, more than anybody, you should have had him retire Jericho. That would have been the thing that propelled him to the moon, but they couldn't do that. And they did it in the most dumb way possible as well. And that was the moment where I actually felt like my intelligence was being insulted there, because during the match, there was literally a moment in the match, and I'm pretty sure the bell rung. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But when the bell rang, Jericho took MJF to the outside to the crowd and started beating him up with weapons. Right. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a no DQ. Okay, a fitting way to end this feud. Right. No DQ. Anything goes. Just a bloodbath. Blah, 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 blah. Right. And then they pull that bullshit where MJF beat Jericho, but Jericho put his leg on the rope. And I'm just sitting there screaming at the screen. It doesn't matter if he has the foot on the rope. This is a no DQ, isn't it? But no.
Is it a no DQ?
I was pretty sure it was. Or why else would Chris Jericho take him to the outside into the crowd and then come back and drop a freaking weapon on his head?
I don't even remember the weapon spot that we're talking about.
Yeah, me neither.
It literally, no, I'm not crazy here. It happened. Okay.
I mean, maybe it's something that, like, I don't know. Maybe you thought that it was weapons, or maybe I don't know.
He literally took something and dropped it on MJF's head.
Well, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about flyers, a poster, like, or is it a chair?
It was like a thing that, like, it was a metal pole thing.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Nathan knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Now that you say that, the like guardrail thing that you pulled.
I can't remember if they rung the bell or not.
I'm pretty sure they rang the bell. They were inside. They started it out.
Hey, to be fair, I know on old wrestling games, if you throw the weapon at the opponent, it doesn't disqualify you. But if you strike them with it, it disqualifies. Maybe they were using.
Well, in WWE with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, he threw the wooden announce table piece at her, and that was a disqualification.
Which is super lame. Like, they smack their faces on it all the time. Like, what the hell?
I know.
No, let's take it even more further. We literally had Christian spear Kenny Omega through a table. Now
that was weird, because that was
weird.
But going back to that, like,
and then he like jumped on him too, but the ref was not like looking when he jumped on him with the table.
He was distracted for the double stomp, but then
the spear, he saw it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was
but I feel like you can also throw someone through an announcer's table. That's not a disqual. So
it was a loophole.
Rules in general are weird, you know. That's
all I know.
It's like they fell on it instead of like actually like throwing it into someone or something.
All I know is if it's a deliberate use of a weapon, that should be a disqualification. Right.
But like, just people throw each other in the stairs almost every match.
If they didn't go over the top and say that it was no DQ, I wouldn't assume that it was no DQ. But I guess I could see what you were saying. But I didn't take that as like a weapon shot. I thought of it as like using the environment. And you know how they use the environment? They use the steel steps. They use the barricade.
Yeah.
No, Trey, he literally took something that's a foreign weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
And dropped it on his head.
It's part of the arena. It's like part of the environment.
Well, you can't like
you could say the
throw
same
it
thing
onto
for a
someone.
Chair.
You can throw someone into it, but you can't throw it onto someone. That's like a deliberate attack.
So what if somebody took him to the outside, right? And they say, hey, let me see that chair, right? Oh, that's part of the environment. And he smashes it over the head. Is that a disqualification?
I mean, that's two different things, though. Like, he didn't hit him he didn't give him a kitchen sink with it, but he threw it at him.
I don't understand.
I don't know. It'd be like kind of like, I don't know, ripping the same thing, ripping off the top of the announce table and then throwing it at the opponent, which I've seen a million times. That's what that would be equivalent to.
Well, if someone like hit someone with a monitor, like from an announce table, surely that would be a disqualification.
That is
for sure.
If they threw the steel steps, if they took the steel steps, threw it at someone, that'd be a disqualification.
Look, taking the steel steps, deliberately taking the steel steps, getting in the ring and say, I'm going to hit him with the steel steps. Boom. That's a disqualification. But throwing them into the steel steps, it's like, hey, the steel steps were just
it's just the dumb things about wrestling. But I didn't think it was a no DQ, but I can see where you would be upset thinking, oh, he used the weapon and then he puts his foot on the rope and you're like, it doesn't matter. That's dumb. I can see where that would be a thing.
Yeah, that was
and that entrance was like awkward too. the entrance. Like the
Yeah,
fans
the
weren't
crowd
singing. Like
Yeah, that was
he
terrible.
really expected them to. He really expected them to be singing, and they did not sing.
The one time he needed them to sing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like they sung, but you couldn't even hear them because the
Yeah,
guitar.
you couldn't hear him.
Guitar.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been awesome if he just performed his own song and then just walked out. That would have been freaking epic as hell. That would have been a great way to end his career. But alas, he's still around.
No, because going back to your point where he should have retired him, I think that like MJF's like freaking 24 years old. Like he's got plenty of time to put away Jericho if he wants to in the future. Also, Jericho's got to stay around to sell tickets and put asses in seats. And then third of all, I don't think Jericho needed to retire on a show where the stage looks like every other Dynamite. So
yeah, that's the thing too. Like they use the same stage all the time. It's not that impressive. I know WWE
that bothers me. That bothers me beyond no end, dude. Like
WWE's got a massive stage though, so like I don't mind there. But the AEW one, like I don't know, and they want it to be different too. Like show us how you want to be different.
I think both companies need to like go back to the custom sets, man. That's what makes like wrestling so fun. That's what people look forward to that shit. Like I want to buy the show because I want to see it. I want to see how far they go with the stage. I want to see the pyro. I want to see the all these different things.
With the pyro in AEW sucks, bro. It's like the most pussy pyro. It's like the pussiest pyro ever.
Because it all goes to Cody, dude. What do you expect? It all goes to freaking Cody. But with that,
like this little
with the little pew,
it's like nothing.
What did you expect, Brad? They had the sparklers go off to blow up Eddie Kingston.
Oh my!
Oh,
that.
Oh, you had to remind me.
That was a huge disappointment.
But people are gonna think I hate AEW. I love AEW. I love the roster. I love what they're doing. I like, and I pray.
I want to support them.
Even though I don't particularly like AEW, I like AEW a whole lot more than what I'm liking about WWE right now. But with that, I think it's safe to say both companies do have their things that they need to fix. But as of now, people, let us know in the comments who's gonna come out on top in this war for ratings or whatever this is at this point. Leave us some comments on your thoughts of how AEW is doing against WWE or how WWE is going to fare against all this crazy stuff that's happening in AEW. But with that, I feel like it's safe to move on to a pretty personal topic of ours.
Well, before we move on real quick, I do want to say that if their combat for All Out was tonight's Monday Night Raw, it was god awful. It was god awful.
Well, I did not. The only thing
I just think
saw
it's
was
lifeless. Like
it is. It's
nothing...
been lifeless for years. It's been lifeless for. I've talked about this on the channel multiple times. Like I want to review the shows, but the shows are like they don't give a single shit about what they're putting on TV.
Let me tell you, back in like 2015 or 14, stuff was happening on the shows that would get you excited. And if someone asked you, "Hey, what happened on Raw?" Oh, this, and this happened. You asked, like the past few years, someone asked you, like, "Hey, what happened on Raw?" And I don't know, nothing happened. Like, why am I supposed to tune in for 3 hours if nothing's going to happen? It's like
that's
the most
whole point.
Boring thing. You wonder why the ratings are going down. You're doing nothing special.
Watching Raw at this point is literally like watching static on the screen.
Yes.
It feels like nothing.
I'll tell you what, though, I like SmackDown. SmackDown's fun and it's enjoyable.
SmackDown's great. SmackDown knows what they're doing. SmackDown actually builds things up. You know, it may not all be fantastic, but it's still at least something to look forward to every week.
It's always at least just a fun show.
Yeah.
Like I don't really see many problems with
Raw. Literally, like is allergic to fun.
Yeah,
that's the problem here. But you know, with that, that's enough AEW versus WWE talk. I know we kind of jumped the rails off of that one, but we're all here just to be here. We're here with different opinions, and I love talking about different opinions with other guys with the same passion as I do with my brothers right here. But speaking of one of my brothers here, Nate Dogg, had a big video uploaded these past few days. Hurt Business versus the Shield. Long time coming. They gave a big hurting to Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, whatever you want to call them. It's literally no difference to me. And Nathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about that video that you've done uploaded on your big old channel?
Yeah, so I don't suppose you or Trey watched it. I think Luke did. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this video. I just want to go through some of the behind the scenes of it. And yeah, at the start, like I had a really slow start to filming. My motivation was like really bad for some reason. But then like I got into it fully once I started the Mox ambulance thing where he came out and returned. I thought that was so cool. And I was like really having fun with it and getting into it. And then like while I was doing, I was like binge watching Saved by the Bell and Heels.
I love it.
Saved by the Bell. Yeah. Yeah. It's I heard it was a good show, so I checked it out, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wait, that was your first time watching it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Well, you think I should have watched it when I was younger? I mean, it's a bit before my time, so.
Well, yeah, for sure. But when I was like, I want to say like maybe 7, 8, 9, it would like come on like ABC Family. Maybe some people listening know what that channel is, and I would binge the hell out of it.
Are we really that old that we don't think kids know what ABC Family channel is?
I don't know, bro.
It's a good show, but the episodes are all out of whack and out of order. I had to like track it all down and like get it all perfect. But yeah, I was watching that stuff on TV in the arena. And, you know, the commentary and editing process was such a pain because, man, I got an editor, which I've been using. And when he sends stuff to me and I put it in my software to do my commentary on, it like goes out of sync. So like I'm trying to commentate, but the audio goes like way earlier than it should. And it like throws me off. And I haven't been commentating in a while. Like it's been like 15 days or something. And like my voice was getting all sore, my sore throat. I was getting all like cracked voice. I had to keep doing retakes. It was just like the most annoying process. So now I'm just going to go back to editing the videos myself. And yeah. But yeah.
I really do be like that sometimes.
I'm definitely on board with editing your own ish. That way, you know, you get the vision right. You don't have any weird technical issues. And
it was also like, I had to get him to do so many revisions too. It's like,
that's always a fear. That's always a fear of mine.
Because I know how to do it better than the editor because I've been doing this for a long time. So I know what sound effects I want where.
Like my thing is like I hate being a bother. Even when like I'm working with artists for FAW and for like the audio dramas or the posters or whatever it may be. I hate asking for revisions because I feel like I'm pissing them off. It's just something that's like very subconscious to me, but it's always something that where like, I'd probably never get an editor. I'll just keep doing this stuff myself. It's not the main reason. The main reason why is because I'm a stingy guy with my money. And number two, I don't like being in conflict with people, you know, having them redo things over and over. It's just such a hassle to me and my conscience. So usually when I do things, it's by myself.
Also, I got custom nameplates on the video too, with like some moving graphics. I hit up some guy on Fiverr, like some Indian guy, paid him like $80. Oh my God. Like he's like the most incompetent guy ever. Like I tell him exactly what I want. I draw like the design and everything, send it to him. He keeps sending me back all these weird things and not having a clue.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh my God, dude. And you can't like refund it or anything.
Like God in heaven. I'm like that on Fiverr too. Like going back to Danny's point about like not being a hassle. Like I'm like that with like eating out. Like, bro, they could fuck up my order and I'll be like, yeah, this is cool.
Just eat it with a tear.
Yeah, I just eat that shit. I'm about to, like, I don't care. Like it could be my least favorite food. I'm just gonna eat that shit. I'm not gonna.
You're just like that one meme with the flea from SpongeBob eating one of them Krabby Patties with a tear in his eye. That's you. That'd probably be me too. But it's like every time I'm eating out, And it's my dad. My dad does not give a fuck. He will literally fight the manager
Oh my God.
for an order, and I just be like, oh, please stop.
Yeah,
Please, no.
But see, I'm the same way with the artist too, because like, I have so many tattoos, and every time I go and get a tattoo and like the design isn't like,
Oh,
like I will literally like ask so many questions, and like I'm pondering things, and I'm retaliating off the artist and stuff like that. Luckily, like I've known my artist a while now, so we're cool. If I'll be like, that design looks like shit. I'll tell him like I don't, because you develop that relationship. But I'm the same way on Fiverr, because I try, I have a vision for something, and these people just don't match up with my vision, and it's like,
and another thing is like, and another thing is like, these are complete strangers too, so like you don't know if what you say is gonna tick them off.
Yeah.
And
the thing is like I'm talking about like the editor and stuff, like they're not as passionate about the project as you are. Like you would be like all in on it. Like the guy who did editing for me, like one time, like he fell asleep and like didn't do the editing, and I had to like wait till the next day. But for me, I'd be like editing it all night long because I care,
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just gonna get back into it and try and do it myself.
It's real important. Like for me, it's real important to try and build relationships with the people that you try to work with, because then you can regularly talk and they can become more invested in this stuff, which is why like one of my favorite people to work with on Fiverr is the guy who voices Wildcard in my Fed. He loves that character. He loves voicing it. And he even loves my videos and everything. So it's so pleasant to work with people who are like that instead of people who are just doing this just for money's sake.
Yeah, for sure.
Passion is definitely an important aspect when creating art. If there's no passion, there's no art.
Bro, I just filmed something yesterday and I was just like, oh man, I love my job. I love this. Like this is so awesome. You'll see it next week. If you not next week, I don't know when I'll get WSC War Games, which was announced in the last video. It's gonna be awesome. And at the end of the video, make sure to stay to the end of the video because something cool is going to happen. So, yeah, make sure to stay all the way to the end of the video as always.
Why don't you tease them a little bit right there for that big extravaganza of a video?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I know what you're talking about because, like, I've done that before too. Like, I'll literally be like filming something and then like it'll just hit you like, dude, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm making
that's great.
I don't remember the last time that happened to me. It happened to me while watching people's reaction to Birthday Bash. I was like, okay, yeah, I like doing this, right? But doing it like physically, actually filming it, I'm like, I want to die right now.
No, I've done that multiple times, like where you're just like filming it, it looks sick AF, and you're just like, dude, I just love this process. But
have any of you seen the vibe reaction to Deadly Games?
I don't think so.
No, it's awesome reaction. They like react to the match, and it's like, man, I love making people feel this way. Like,
oh yeah, for sure,
getting them like this, and then
maybe they should react to a birthday bash. But that's something else entirely.
You gotta tell them.
Oh man,
I feel like the reaction channels, they go for stuff that gets a lot of views, so they can get a part of that audience to their channel.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the sad truth of it.
I mean, he's done other fetters too. He's done like
he did Cody
TNHW.
He did TNHW with SummerSlam.
Yeah, so he's a fan of the fedding and stuff.
So you're gonna film War Games and you're gonna use that basic ring, right?
Yeah.
And
pretty much just like the elimination
chamber. You have filmed with the elimination chamber. Like, how frustrating is it to film in those?
It's really not that frustrating. Depends how you book the match. I just don't book them like super technically, and it's more of like a fight than a technical match. Like, I'm not doing a lot of like, rest holds.
Just a bunch of dudes like slapping meat, as you said before.
Yeah.
The big meme of yesteryear. They're just slapping meat and slapping each other with weapons. And there's
a lot of beef in this match, so it's gonna be fun.
Speaking of meat, beef in this match. Yeah, to my point about like really hating the process sometimes. That's just me. Maybe I'm not as passionate as pig fitting as I think I am, but that's a discussion for another day. But speaking of passion, pretty sure there has been moments where we all lost passion, where to the point where we thought about quitting pig fitting altogether. I know I have, but that's just me. I can get into that, but I just want to know the thoughts of my brothers here. Have you guys ever had any thoughts of quitting at any point in your career? As
Yeah,
far as like pig fitting?
I definitely had it a lot of times. Like you said, like sometimes for some reason, I can't explain it, but like the passion sometimes just is not there. And I feel like, we all experience that where we like wake up and we just don't feel like doing it at all, which is weird. And sometimes
Yeah.
these periods, they last longer and then you're just not feeling it. And, you can't really pick fed well if you are not feeling it. That's something I've noticed. Like, pick fetting is like really, really hard to do. And if you don't feel the passion for it in the moment, it's really almost
Difficult.
impossible to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even if you force yourself through it, like sometimes I would do that, and then I would look at the stuff I filmed, and it would just make me feel nothing, and that would make me feel even worse. And yeah, that's just the stuff about it. I don't know what it is, because I don't really think that I am depressed, but like, some days, some periods you just feel off, and I can't really explain why. So I've definitely thought about it a lot, because it's
So
really
you
painful.
thought about quitting,
Yeah.
like fully quitting.
Yeah, because it's like really painful. Like, one day you're so excited, you're coming up with all these ideas, you're super excited, and then like the next day you just don't feel anything. Like, it doesn't make you excited anymore, and then you're like, why is that? And you try to fight it, but it doesn't really work. So yeah, that is something that I always struggle with. I know MDT and I had a lot of discussions about that in private, and it's something that I think we both really can't make sense of, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about, and like, I don't know if like when you sit down to film something, and like you said, you're not feeling it whatsoever. It's like, I don't know, like why are you gonna sit there and just
Force yourself to do something you're not wanting to do.
Yeah, not only force yourself to do that, but it's gonna come across in the filming, like you said.
Right.
Like, it's not gonna be as good as it could have been. It's not gonna live up to the expectation that you had. It's not gonna meet the vision. And that totally sucks, especially if you're going to put the time in, you want it to come out right, which I think is why, I don't know, sometimes, obviously not this show right here, but when I talk about, I'm trying to get this show done, is mainly because I'm not going to sit there and force myself to go through like a grueling mental issue just to get the show out on a specific thing, or to meet a deadline that if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. I want it to be when I'm feeling the best. I want to film at my best every single time. That way, when I put it out, it's at the best possible show it could be. And it's not, oh yeah, I had to like literally kill myself to get through that last match. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be fun and enjoyable for me throughout the process of filming it. Now, it's not always realistic. Like, sometimes you are going to have to suffer a little bit, but I want it to be as enjoyable as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very miserable. Like, when you're looking at something, like you're like, oh, I'm have the time to film. I could do this, but I'm not feeling it. It's like the most miserable feeling in the world for me personally. And that's sometimes I think like, oh, I would just rather be like at a grocery store stocking shelves or whatever than that feeling.
You're
Honestly.
saying you'd rather stock shelves at Walmart than have the time to film but not feel like filming, or forcing yourself?
Yeah, just mindless drone work at that point is just more productive with your time. That it just feels like that. And me myself, I've thought about quitting several times. I made it public on my Instagram twice now. Well, no. At Birthday Bash, I said I was gonna take a break, try to think of what to do next. Because these past few years, it's funny how you mentioned depression and shit like that. Like, you may not have it, but I know that I do. I definitely know that I do. I've been struggling with it for 2 years now. Personal issues, they take a very heavy toll on me. I'm a very emotional guy, even though like my voice may not well, if I'm not doing commentary, it may come off as like I'm just very this monotone dude who's very chill. And most of it is because like I don't know, like a lot of the passions for things that I loved doing. I used to draw comics a lot during high school and even afterwards. That was the one thing I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to make comic books. I wanted to create stories that will appeal to the masses in a way that like Dragon Ball Z does, or Breaking Bad, or Sons of Anarchy, or Toy Story, or The Avengers. I wanted to make my own stuff like that, but along the way, life just kind of happens. I don't really want to go into too much detail about what happened, but sometimes fucking life just shits on everything that you hold dear, and when it happens, it just makes you feel like, fuck, what the fuck am I doing at this point? Everything that I was happy about is gone. And I had this moment fairly recently. Well, I mean, not fairly. I mean, it was 2 years ago where I found myself just completely lonely and without like any love in my life whatsoever. Like, yeah, I had family and stuff like that, but it's their job to do that. You know, they're kind of there to do that. And I don't know, I felt like completely lost and just going with the motions. I was doing Pic Fedding at this point in time, 2019. Um, I was kind of testing the waters of Pic Fedding, and I thought I was doing good, but then the moment that just crushed me happened, and nothing that I loved to do made me happy anymore, especially Pic Fedding. And that's probably why Winter Slam took so long to make, because I was still struggling with it. I'm still struggling with it now. It may not be to an extent that it was before, but when Winter Slam was going on, I was struggling with past things in my personal life that just haunted me even to this day. And it really hindered my creative ability to be invested into everything that I put into the Pic Fed. So yeah, I thought about quitting because the process wasn't making me happy, especially with the fact that I wasn't as known as I am now. Nobody gave a fuck about what I made. The only people who did were my friends, and sometimes they would shit on it, but that's what friends do. They fuck with you. But yeah, I just felt like this was going nowhere. So I made Winter Slam, and to my surprise, it got a very great reception. And I think I owe a lot of that to Luke, because he did a wonderful job uh, helping me, promote it as I was doing commentary for him, and seeing people loving the craft that I make. And now I'm even taking it further with the audio dramas and telling a bit of my own pain into the character of G-Man. I kind of modeled G-Man after some events that happened in my life, and kind of caricaturized it. I don't know what the word is for that, but yeah, and people being invested in it just gives me so much bliss, because it's like how I told you guys that my dream was to create stories that people would be invested in, like comic books.
I may not have done the comic book part, but right now I'm so happy to see that people are invested in the story of G-Man. And it's like a dream come true. Did it cure my depression? Not really, but it kind of dealt a severe blow to it. You know, just seeing people react to what I create, something that I never thought it would happen because I lost my passion for that dream long ago. But now it's starting to come back up and it's starting to motivate me to do more, to give the people more. So, yeah, I thought about quitting, but to my surprise, people actually did not want me to do that. So now, even now, I'm debating on whether to come back or not to give them a possible season 2 of FAW. Right. And you might be asking, well, what are you doing right now? You're building all this stuff up. It's like, this is kind of limbo to me. You know, this is me just figuring out what should I do? Because I always thought that, oh, my destiny is to make comic books. And that died. Well, maybe not completely. I'm still clinging on to it. That's my problem. I have a very hard time letting go of things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching can relate. You know, you dedicate a lot of your time into something that you love doing. And when it doesn't make you happy anymore, you kind of start to resent yourself. Like, why are you feeling like this? Why are you being this way? This should be like the best moment of your life. I go to live wrestling shows. I used to love doing that. Now I go by myself. I don't feel anything. The last time I felt something was when I saw Jimmy Wang Yang in person, because Jimmy Wang Yang brought me so many loving memories of being a kid and watching SmackDown. So of course I was going to get a pop from me, but everything else, it's like, I feel nothing. And that feeling can scare you, you know, it can make you think like, why am I even alive? If nothing that I used to love makes me happy anymore. Like making comics, it didn't make me happy. I lost my passion to draw. I used to draw 24/7. But now it's just, it brings me no joy. Pic Fedding at one point brought me no joy. It brought me joy when I started, you know, doing it. But then life happened. And all the joy in my body got sucked out of me. But now it's slowly coming back because I'm realizing that even though the comic book aspect of telling stories may not be as prominent as it was, Pic Fed kind of opened my eyes a little bit that there is an audience for this stuff. And even if it's just 10 people, like I said, having people reacting to the stories that I create gives me bliss, even if outside life, out of Pic Fedding, just does nothing but hurt me, you know. But yeah, quitting has definitely crossed my mind plenty of times for good reason. But
Brad, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to follow that up.
Yeah, I kind of just poured my heart out just now. But no, man, this isn't feel bad for Danny time. Like I'm fine.
No, I mean, I can relate. I can relate to you in a lot of ways with that whole thing there. I mean, I hate that you had to go into all that, and I'll definitely be praying for you and looking out for you. And if you ever need to talk, bro, you know you got the group right here.
Yeah, my boys. Yeah, man, that's man. I appreciate that so much, man. Yeah,
but yeah, man, I think we can all kind of relate to that in some degree. You know, when things happen in your life, you kind of, it puts things into perspective, like we talked about before, where like a lot of things don't always like matter like you think they matter. But as far as quitting Pic Fedding, I don't know, since I started, I really haven't had an end in sight. Like I didn't think, you know, whenever I first started, I thought to myself, you know, I'll just do this until like I wasn't even thinking about the end. I wasn't thinking about quitting. or, where it would go. I was just like, I just want to make these shows and tell these stories and keep on going until whatever happens. But I didn't even plan on taking the break that I did take between the shows. It's not ever been a thing where I'm like, yeah, I've quit. I'm done. So I don't know if I guess I've thought about ending the Pic Fed, which would be equivalent to quitting, but I've never that wasn't the plan. Like when I wanted to get these shows out, I wasn't like contemplating quitting per se. It was just, I'll get to the next show when I get to the next show. When I find the time, I'll get to it.
Yeah,
Was kind of the deal. It wasn't really I'm gonna walk away now. I mean, it definitely crossed my mind, but I don't think I've ever. I don't know. I still have plenty of plans. I have a whole schedule. Like I have all these things that I want to get to. So I definitely have no quitting in sight. But it's definitely crossed my mind. I think. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely crossed my mind before, but it's not something that I've entertained or anything like that. It was just kind of like a thought, I guess.
Yeah. And, a part of like me thinking quitting and junk like that, it was just the fact that making Pit Fed is expensive and exhausting. And with the mindset that I had, like freaking just getting out of bed was exhausting enough. And Pic Fedding just added more to that. But now it's starting to get more easy because it feels like I'm doing this for people, not necessarily like slaving away, mind you, but giving the audience what they want is a riveting feeling.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what kind of keeps me going. And, you right there, if you're thinking about quitting a Pic Fed because nobody's watching your stuff, don't worry about it. Just be yourself. Do what you want to do. People are going to watch. Okay. People, especially since we have a community here, we can share things and, and get people to, I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to open a charity up right now. If you have a Pic Fed, Instagram Fed, YouTube Fed, whatever, for the next week, I'll shout them out. I'll give links to all these YouTubes, everything. Shout them out on Instagram. You guys just tell me, and I'm gonna make sure you guys get some kind of views, get some kind of eyes on your product, because I think everyone's voice should be heard. Everyone's art should be seen by somebody, even if it's just one person. That's way more than zero, So yeah, everyone after this episode, hop on my Instagram. DMs are open.
Well, that is
and I feel like if you really, really want, if that's like an issue to you that nobody is watching your stuff, like, to be honest, there are not too many feds out there, that are like really high quality and stuff like that. If you get good, you'll get the views on YouTube 100%. Now, are you going to get like as many views as WSC? Maybe not, but if you are good, I guarantee you will have a audience, guaranteed, because there's just not much out right now that is, like, especially if you do with commentary. I feel like there's a huge opportunity for anybody listening right now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's Pic Fedding is just an outlet for creativity. And I am a guy who loves creativity. This is me, the Lucha Underground mark. Lucha Underground was literally the best TV show of wrestling I ever made because it was so creative. They had such outlandish ideas and they executed them to perfection. And, just, I don't care. I know this one guy. You showed me him, Nathan. His name is PW Ultra.
Yeah.
I gave it a watch. I loved it. I loved it because he had Marvel Legends people. I was like, oh man, this is going to be trash. But no, I actually really enjoyed it. I watched it with a buddy of mine. And there was this one match between Frogman versus some TNA dude. I forgot his name. But yeah, they had like a hardcore match. And I was cheering for freaking Frogman the whole time. You know, it's just something different. It's something creative. It's something that's so outlandish and should not work. It gave me, I don't know, it just really gave me some kind of euphoric feeling where it's like, this guy's doing his own thing. I'm proud of him. You know,
And that, I mean, that's what pick fetting is doing your own thing and, bringing your own stories and stuff like that, regardless of what fit. I've seen, like, I'm pretty sure I saw somebody do like a Cosmo and Wanda match or something like that.
SMF Wrestling.
I don't know. I don't know who it was, but
Mr. How to Order a Pizza himself, bro. I would love to have that guy here. I want to talk to that dude so bad because he literally has Phineas and Ferb in his fed, and it's like a hand fed. It's like a hand fed, and it should be so stupid, but to me, I get so enthralled in it. I'm a very easily entertained person. I'm very guilty of that. I watch freaking Super Mario Logan. God damn it. Okay, so this just is kind of up my alley. This ridiculousness. He has freaking Chuck E. Cheese fighting people and doing the Chucky slap. That's one of the moves he does, and it's just, you can tell this guy just enjoys everything he does, and I'm kind of jealous of that. So SMF Wrestling, Mr. What's this called? What's his other channels called? I don't remember, but yeah, SMF Wrestling, PW Ultra. These guys are doing such outlandish stuff with their feds. It just goes out to show, like, don't be afraid to do outlandish stuff. Sure, you might get your elitists, talk about, well, you can't do that because it's not realistic. Fuck realism at this point, man.
Yeah, Danny, without spoiling anything, some things that are gonna happen.
Yeah. Just make sure to watch Mr. Nate Dogg's War Games, because
Don't spoil anything.
no, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying, Go watch that, and you'll see what I mean.
Do y'all want to dive into the questions before we get out of here today?
Let's do that. I'm already feeling charitable as it is. I've poured my heart out to these people, and I might soon regret that later. But it don't matter right now. Today we are with the people, and the people have asked their questions, and we, the four horsemen of the YouTube Pic Fed community, maybe that's a bit cocky, but I don't know. I just saw a comment saying that. So Mr. Whoever made that comment, thank you for giving me something to say right now. Anyway, first question we have here is by DLH Wrestling. Almost forgot to say the name. What is a figure you would love to fed with, but can't/don't due to the figure not being as posable as you wanted it to be?
I will start off, and I will say that one figure that has disappointed me in this category is going to be the AEW Unrivaled Collection Luchasaurus figure. And I don't know if anybody owns this figure, man. Like, if anybody watches the channel, you know that I love Luchasaurus. I think he's fantastic. I love the look. I brought him into the Pic Fed at Hell's Gate. He kind of made like his first appearance or whatever. And he's, him and Jungle Boy are supposed to be a tag team on MDT Live. And, I want to run these guys in the Fed, but dude, the figure is just, it's practically unusable. I don't know, like the legs are loosey goosey, the torso, when you bend it over, it pops off. No lower leg rotation. The feet are hard to stand, and the feet don't even like push up. They barely have any articulation. The knee pads have like the tassels on them, so you can't even like bend his legs that much. It's just a big flop. It looks beautiful, but it's just practically unusable.
That figure, the Luchasaurus, I already said in the first episode, is the bane of my existence. I'm just gonna go a bit further. That figure in general is a big fuck you to Pic Fedding. It's a big fuck you to Pic Fedders in general who actually want to pose this thing and film matches. You cannot. It will not let you. It is not capable. It is not physically capable of doing anything other than just standing there for a freaking picture. Okay, that figure is the worst functioning figure that AEW has ever produced. It looks great, but it don't feel great. Now, for me, you kind of took my top pick, but if I was going to pick another figure that I could not use because of its posability not being up to par, I think one that really strikes me, well, besides the obvious, the one that got memed on the most, Samoa Joe, the Mattel Samoa Joe. That thing is not good at all, but I'm going to get a bit of a hot take here when it comes to posability. One figure that has disappointed me very much is actually the Ultimate Edition Shinsuke Nakamura. I tried, yeah.
Maybe the ab.
Nah, bro. That thing to me is not fun at all.
Really?
And yeah, I actually had more fun filming the Elite more than the Ultimate. First of all, the Ultimate looks wonky as hell to me. It don't even look like Shinsuke's build. The Elite looks way more like a Shinsuke build, physique that makes sense. The Ultimate Edition is just, it looks so scrawny. It looks so warped, anatomy and everything. The ab crunch is like kind of, I don't know. I just feel like these ab crunches on these Ultimate Editions, or at least the first renditions of them, were just useless. They were.
I'll tell you, the only good one was Brock Lesnar. That was so good.
I like the Ric Flair. I like the Ric Flair though. I got that recently and I enjoy it, mostly because of the butterfly joints. If it didn't have the butterfly joints, I really doubt that I would enjoy it as much as I did, because I'm a big Marvel Legends guy, and Marvel Legends tend to have butterfly joints and a lot of other things like double jointed everything, and they were so posable, and I love posability, especially even if it's not for a pick fit. I like holding my figures and posing them around in like a super kick position or a flying position or something like wacky, like, I don't know, doing the splits and sniffing their own ass. I don't know. But as far as me, like my second pick, it was kind of like something I just pulled out of my ass, honestly. But I did have problems with the Ultimate Edition Shinsuke Nakamura. But what about you guys?
Yeah. For me, Dustin Rhodes, the unmatched figure, is really bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like the legs are really not posable at all. The torso is complete crap. You can't do the ab crunch at all, or else it just break off. And yeah, it's just terrible. I would love to use them in the Fed, but that figure is really bad. So maybe I'd have to use a old Goldust or something.
So I would go, because this is just a recent example, with the Series 6 Penta, because it's just super loose again from AEW. The Phoenix also is kind of loose. So I actually plan to use that new Phoenix for Money in the Bank, but I think I got to go with the red one from whatever that company is called that I used for the Ultimate X. Yeah. Got to go with that one. And yeah, it's just the AEW, man. Like, with WWE, I don't have that much issues, and Mattel, but AEW, just most of the figures actually give me issues.
Yeah,
I haven't personally posed that much with those Series 6 figures, but to me, when I did like move them around out of the box, they weren't loose. So maybe it was just a problem with yours.
Just give it time.
Just give it time.
Are you talking about the Series 6 Pentagon?
6 Penta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is yours loose?
I'm holding it right now, and I haven't found mine to be. I don't know. It's maybe the legs are a little bit loose.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. I started filming with it. Like, I got like maybe 20 pictures, and after that, it was unusable.
Actually, now that you say that, mine's like incredibly loose. I did a package pile driver deal, and now it's like
yep, their legs.
Well, guys, Penta's not going to be in WSC.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy.
Huh? Hey, you don't pick on Jeremy.
Hey, no. I'm going to pick on Jeremy until he fixes the balls. All right. # fix the balls. Let's get that trending, all right? Because that's the only way that this Pentagon is going to get justice for it. And the Luchasaurus, all right? We need to fix the balls. Anyway.
Well, what's the next question?
The next question is, if you could pick any wrestler to make an elite custom of and bring them into your Fed, who would it be? Parentheses, I feel Abyss versus Kevin Owens and MDT would be booted.
I think that, first of all, Kevin Owens versus Abyss, I got KO in that one, but I think that would be a fun matchup to film. It's weird because I've never been a big Abyss guy. So, like, I'll do a quick little backstory real quick. I don't want to get too far off topic, but pretty much when I would watch TNA and I would see Abyss, I always thought, oh, that's off-brand Kane, and that's all I would ever associate with him. So that's just a quick little backstory on Abyss. But as far as a custom that I would like to use in the Pic Fed, not counting George Washington and the Founding Fathers, I would go with I think I would go with Leo Rush.
Rush, the guy who retires every week. I'm just kidding. Oh man. No, I definitely love to see that. I think you do that. Wait, didn't you have a old Leo Rush custom that was made out of like a Booker T head?
Yeah, I had the old one. I made a new one that's a lot better, but I would want like a better, I don't know, like I've seen some really good Leo Rushes. I'd like to see a better one made there. I'd go with Leo Rush. Again, not counting George Washington.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I feel like the most recent Leo we had was really good.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, those are good. I've seen those.
See, I could never do Leo Rush in my Fed because like he'd just be another guy who does flips and shit. Not like I don't see a character in Leo Rush, honestly, other than the loudmouth little guy who's always escaping the clutches of the good guy. You know, there's not much of a draw in that other than like Leo Rush is basically like Ricochet. You know, Ricochet doesn't really have much to him. He's just the guy who's flippy doos. You know, he does all the flippy doos and stuff, and it's cool to look at.
So what's your one?
Mine? Well, I would definitely love to have more Lucha Underground guys in my stuff. Like, man, what's a good Lucha Underground dude that I would love to have? A Son of Havoc, aka I forgot his actual name, but Son of Havoc was like this biker luchador. And he came out in the most simple mask, but like something about him and his athletic ability, his moves, his everything, his look was just so enthralling, especially to my father, who would watch the Lucha Underground with me. That was his favorite guy. And I'm like, why? He looks so simple, but it's like, nah, man, that's what helps him. Son of Havoc, he would do these crazy athletic moves. Like he would hold himself up sideways on the ring post on the outside. Like, I know what I'm saying seems like outlandish and like impossible, but no, he did that. And he did an elbow drop to the outside like that. So pretty much just any Lucha Underground guy. Son of Havoc, maybe not on the top of my list, but who is on the top of my list is a guy named Matanza Cueto. He was like the big monster besides Mil Muertes in that show. And he was the brother of the owner and promoter, giving you all a little bit of a history lesson in Lucha Underground. Please, guys, watch Lucha Underground. It's on Tubi. It's free. All 4 seasons. You'll love it as much as I do, I promise you. But Lucha Underground had Matanza, who was actually Jeff Cobb in a mask and playing a character. So, and he would do all these flips and stuff, all the Jeff Cobb stuff. But I don't know. I know Jeff Cobb is great, but Jeff Cobb doesn't seem like he's got a character. He's just Olympic guy, suplexes the fuck out of you, leaves. You know, Matanza had a reason. He was a monster. He had lore behind him. He had this presence about him that you just could not look away from. So if I would have to pick one guy to have a custom made and put him in my Fed, it'd be Matanza Cueto off of Lucha Underground. What about the last guy? I forgot. Is it Nathan? Who needs it? Yeah.
Well, did Luke say his?
I didn't yet. No.
Oh shoot, my bad, man.
Well, you go first.
All right. Oh, speaking of Jeff Cobb, I agree on the character, but he just had an incredible match with Okada, and he actually beat Okada. So
Well, I'm
that was
sure he
pretty
has
huge for him.
wonderful matches, but it, like there's having wonderful matches, and then there's having good storylines and characters. Those
Anyone can have a good match.
yeah.
Doesn't
I
really
mean,
say
not
much.
really.
I mean, anyone can be a good wrestler, but you got to have more than that to be a star. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
what was the figure you would want?
anyway, for the custom figure, for me, it's kind of hard to answer because if there is one, I just get it done. So
Yeah, that's true.
one that I've been thinking of, that I think would be kind of cool to have would be
G-Man?
well, that's one. Magic
Ooh.
Marvin is obviously another one.
That's number one. But we can't have Magic Marvin have everything, guys. I'm sorry. Even though he is legitimately the greatest at prospect of the entire Pic Fed world, we got to give space to the other guys who need the spotlight. So go ahead, Luke. Who is?
So recently I've been thinking, I don't have like concrete plans for him, but I kind of figured it would be fun to have a Nick Gage custom figure.
Oh, yeah.
For GCW
Gage.
Extreme or something like that. That's
Ooh.
something I had in my mind for a while now.
It's not just
Mhm.
because he showed up in AEW, is it?
I mean, that probably helped so that, if I put him in a video that more people would know who he is. Because you kind of have to pay attention to that a little bit as well. So, yeah, I would go with Nick Gage.
For me, they've pretty much made every wrestler that I would want. So it'd have to be like someone outside of WWE. So I'd want like some sort of like big celebrities. I think one that would be really cool, and especially because it's like relevant right now, is like Logan Paul. Like that'd be pretty hilarious to get a figure of him. And I think maybe WWE might make one. So that'd be really cool.
I mean, they made one of Gronk, so I guess it's not too out of the question, but it's just like,
Yeah, I think that'd be hilarious.
I'm just like,
Yeah, then I
Especially in
would add
WSC.
another one. If we go there, I always wanted to have an Alex Jones, and I figured it would be hilarious to have him like on commentary and just like get some sound effects of him screaming. That was something that
you should have him.
I could get a 3D printed scan.
You should have him cover for me while I'm still here in the fucking hospital. You should have him. You should have.
Are you in
him
the
cover for
hospital?
me. I am because Jeff Hardy just
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant you're legitimately.
Hey! You gotta keep kayfabe, dude. What you doing? What you doing? Shush.
I haven't heard any nurses come in, so
because they can't handle me. Anyway, last question of the day, and after this, we're gonna bring it on home. What do you say, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Question
Fire
is by Demi. I'm going to butcher this. Batziolas. The question is, what is one match that you haven't made yet that you want to in the future? This question is for everyone. Well, thank you, Demi. This is a great question to end things off with, because the possibilities, at least for me, are endless, because I kind of had my start in Pic Fed, or at least in the big leagues of Pic Fed. I could literally do anything. But if there were a match I would love to do, it would be, because I do love filming with Bane. Bane is like, I don't know, I consider him to be the Okada of FAW. Like, he will have a classic with literally anybody. That's kind of like what I'm going for. So if it's like Bane versus anybody, but if I have to choose a match between Bane, how I portray him in FAW, maybe against somebody like Keith Lee, somebody who's very good at like being the powerhouse, yet also being agile, just like Bane. It would literally be like a kung fu fight of like Godzilla versus King Kong proportions. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun with doing that match, especially with the character of Keith Lee, always looking for a challenge and challenging himself, trying to prove that he is limitless versus the guy who literally breaks the limits out of people's bodies. Doesn't that guy? It sounds pretty exciting, right? Or am I the only crazy person in this group?
Not bad.
Oh, sounds good. So again, kind of hard to answer here because if there's something, I probably have it planned and upcoming, so it would be kind of like a spoiler. So I can't, if there's something I really want to do, I'll figure out a way how to do it. So
same.
So it's probably in the lineup for future shows.
A matchup that I'm the same way, by the way. Like that, I have that same thinking. Like, if there's a matchup I want to do, I'm going to make it happen. And there's like there's like a future plan for it. But a matchup that's been like on my mind, like a mother effer, like it's literally been just like burnt into my brain. I want to do Brock Lesnar versus Darby Allin.
Just have Brock just throw.
Like, can you imagine it? You know what I'm saying? Like, just
the kid would be dead.
So yeah,
it'd be like Zach Gowen versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so that's the matchup that's been in my brain.
I mean, they do Brock against Ray all the time, or at least sometimes.
Yeah, people have been doing Killer Cross versus Darby and Roman versus Darby a lot lately.
So yeah, that would be kind of my like deal. Is can you imagine Darby Allin going for a coffin drop and get caught in a German suplex or something like that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
Like Brock just catches him while he's down, and like Darby Allin's like, "Whoa, what the hell? What's going on here?" And then Brock's like, "Gotcha, bitch!" And then he just gets up and then just fucking just takes him to Suplex City like that. And you'd probably have to make Darby Allin sell him like. I don't even know. Like he got turned inside out.
Yeah,
that's actually got me thinking. That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah. So imagine an F5. It would be like an F10. Like he would do like
it would literally be like the SmackDown Here Comes the Pain version of the F5.
Yeah,
literally just have freaking Darby Allin just helicopter in the air. It would be so funny if one of you guys did that and he helicoptered him so hard he literally went up in the air and he never comes back down.
There you go.
That would be the kind of F5 that would happen to Darby Allin.
So I'm not saying spoiler, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but one of us
might do it. If Brock is going for that extreme title, Darby could be a good contender for him down the line.
Oh man! So now it's just a race at this point. Who's gonna do Brock versus Darby first out of all of it? I know I'm not. I have no plans for Brock or Darby or nothing. But I know these three dudes are just
spoiler.
There's just itch. What do you mean?
You completely ruled it out.
Well, I mean, like like I said, I'm still debating on whether
Darby shows up. You're gonna be like, oh yeah. No, they're not winning anything.
No, it's not even like that. It's just like I'm still debating on whether even to come back to full-time Fedding at all. And like so now it's just between these three guys. Like let us know down in the comments, who do you think would film the best Brock Lesnar versus Darby Allin matchup between these three guys? And let's see how freaking outlandish these dudes will take it. It's going to be like a freaking arms race at this point. Like, let's say Nathan does one and then he just has Brock just completely annihilate. How are you going to top that? Have Darby Allin literally fall 20 feet from some kind of scaffolding onto Brock doing the coffin drop. How are you going to top that? I'd love to see that. We're going to call this the Darby Brock War.
Well, there you go. Fed. So I picked an interesting matchup. Who's next?
But
I think we all covered one.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. With that, great questions by the fans. Like I said, everything I said in this video, in this podcast is true. Believe in yourself. Do your own thing. tell me your feds. I will shout them out in the next video. Maybe not in the podcast, but I'll definitely leave links in the description or a pinned comment. We thank you all.
If a show's good enough, or if I think it needs to be promoted, I'll promote the hell out of it.
Oh yes, yes, Trey, get Trey to do. Get. I was gonna say Luke, but he doesn't even go on Instagram. So we're gonna close things off here,
dude. I'll watch everything on YouTube. If there's like someone putting out a great show with commentary, I'll see it. Good.
This is about the time where we give back to the community. The 5th episode is a landmark in this podcast. We're gonna give back to you, the people. But before we do that, we got to sign off here, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Danny Meltzer, the one, the only, the great. This has been Nate Dogg, WSC himself, the top dog. This has been Trey, MDT, MVP of the YWFC, and my broadcasting partner, Luke. Anyway, we are going to go and wish you all a wonderful night or morning or whatever it is. Thank you so much. We are out of here. Peace.